I would like to, first of all, thank Dr. John Chapman and the IISS for inviting me again to this very important forum. I'm very honored and a bit awed by the presence of so many distinguished leaders. Also, I would like to congratulate His Excellency, Mr. Sébastien Lecornu, the new Minister of the Armed Forces of France. He's a bit younger than myself. His Excellency, Mr. Kishi Nawa, Minister of Defense of Japan. His Excellency, Dr. Ng Eng Han, Admiral Teo Chee Hian, Senior Minister for National Security of Singapore. Distinguished colleagues, when we talk about managing geopolitical competition in this region, I must remind many of you, and I don't think I need to remind my brothers from Southeast Asia, that Southeast Asia, in fact, Asia has been for many centuries the crossroads of imperialism, big power domination, exploitation, depredation for many, many years. The Second World War resulted in a new spurt of independence movements, but these independence movements, the fight against imperialism and colonialism has been going on for many hundreds of years. The experience of our brothers in Indochina, the experience of our brothers in the Philippines, in India, in many parts of Asia and Pacific, makes us very, very aware of the need for wise and benevolent leadership. We are the most affected by big power competition. Therefore, in our experience, during the last 40 to 50 years, we have come to our own, the Asian way of resolving these challenges. We have decided that our common experience of being dominated, of being enslaved, of being exploited, forces us now to strive to create a peaceful environment, an environment of friendship. We had our differences. We have competing territorial claims. Even now, we have territorial differences with our brothers from Malaysia. We have claims with Vietnam, competing claims. We have differences with other countries, with China. But our view is that we must strive for understanding, for communication, and we are proud that we have proved to the world that former rivals, former enemies, we have bad experiences of confrontation, etc., etc. But we have resolved that. We have achieved, I think, maybe nearly 50 years of peace, 50 years of friendly cooperation, and we have succeeded in achieving prosperity. Therefore, In facing the current international dynamics, we are very concerned. Yes, we are very sad at what's happening in Europe, in the Ukraine. It seems far away from us, but it affects us directly. The food problem, the energy problem, we understand that. We understand the competing rivalry between the established world power and the rising world power. But for Asia, China has always been a great power for thousands of years. Our society, our culture is very much influenced by China, by India. The great religions in our country come from India, from China. Therefore, for us, we always will strive to respect all the big powers. For Indonesia, our stand is very clear. We respect all the big powers and all the powers that need to have their space, their rights respected. We support a rules-based international order because we are the most affected by any order that just relies on big power. Our experience of being colonized, our experience of being exploited is always in our subconscious. Therefore, Indonesia opted to be non-aligned. We opted not to be engaged in any military alliance. This sounds sometimes like we are sitting on the fence, but no. This is a conscious decision because for us to respect the interests of all our neighbors and of all the big powers in this region is essential. And we have achieved that with our brothers in ASEAN. And therefore, we are trying to achieve that in this situation. We are convinced that the leaders of the great powers realize the big responsibility on their shoulders. We are convinced that the leaders of China will stand up to their responsibility with wisdom and benevolence, because it is their philosophical teaching. Confucius, all the great philosophers of China have always taught us that power and leadership must always come with benevolence. Therefore, we still are optimistic. We respect the United States. The United States actually has proven to be an anti-colonial power. They were one of the first colonies of Britain that fought against colonialism. They supported our fight for independence. We do not forget our friends who supported us. Australia also supported our independence. We are in the fortunate situation of being surrounded by friendly countries. And this is also, I think, part of our weakness. Because we are surrounded by friendly countries, sometimes our elite becomes complacent. And we think that when we are surrounded by nice people, the situation will always be there in a friendly and conducive mood. What the situation in Ukraine taught us is we can never take our security and independence for granted. Therefore, we are determined to strengthen our defense, and that's exactly the key word. Our outlook is a defensive outlook. We have stated that we will defend our territory with every means in our disposal, and we learn from the examples of our neighbors and of the situation in the world. We see the heroism of the Vietnamese people in their 30-year struggle against colonialism. We also see how China fought against invasion, fought against foreign intervention for many years. And we respect all these countries. I think I will not go deeper, or because I'm limited by the time. And so therefore I will conclude my remarks by saying that with all the challenges that we face, we are optimistic. We are convinced that wisdom, rationality, common sense will prevail. Thank you very much.